You can feel it in the air. The whispers, the tweets, the sideline cameras that linger just a little longer when she walks by in sweats. Caitlin Clark, the name, the presence, the lightning rod, is warming up again, and the WNBA is shaking in its sneakers. After weeks on the sidelines nursing a groin injury that silenced the arena and shifted the entire vibe of the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark is almost back, and everybody knows what that means. If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. Fans are ecstatic, teams are nervous, and the league itself is in full-blown DEFCON mode. This isn't just a player returning from injury. This is a full-scale energy shift. Because when Caitlin Clark is on the floor, the game moves differently. And now, after nearly 2 months of rehab, speculation, cryptic interviews, and viral practice clips, her comeback is officially on the table. Let's get into the drama. Because, oh yes, there is drama. When Clark went down with a groin strain in early July, it felt like the league itself dimmed by 30%. The Fever went from must-watch TV to background noise. The flow disappeared. The spacing collapsed. Attendance took a hit. And the highlight reels? Well, they got a lot less viral. Without her, Indiana just didn't look like Indiana. Sure, they've got talent. Aaliyah Boston is a beast in the paint. Kelsey Mitchell can light it up. But let's be real. Without Clark orchestrating the chaos, that offense has been stiff, flat, and overwhelmed by the league's more organized squads. The team desperately missed her gravity, both literal and metaphorical. When Caitlin's on the court, defenders stretch, passing lanes open, role players look better, shooters find rhythm, and fans, they believe. She doesn't just play the game, she tilts it. So yeah, the rumors of her return hit like a shot of adrenaline. One leaked practice video of her nailing back-to-back logo threes. It got more views than entire game recaps. Fans are already flooding comment sections with, "Is she playing this weekend? Is this the return game? Please don't rush her, but please rush her." It's chaos. And behind the scenes, the pressure is unreal. Let's start with the Fever. This team is still technically in the playoff hunt, but barely. They've been fighting to stay alive without their centerpiece, and now they're staring down the barrel of a season that could either ignite or implode based on this one decision. Do they push her back onto the court and gamble with her long-term health? Or do they play it safe, keep her sidelined, and risk tanking their playoff dreams? And the ratings boost she brings with her? It's a lose-lose or a win-win, depending on how you spin it. And you already know Caitlin Clark isn't one to sit still. She's a competitor to her core. The kind of player who would play through a hurricane if it meant snagging a fourth-quarter assist. She's not wired to sit back and let things play out. And according to people close to the team, she's been begging to get back on the floor. The Fever's coaching staff is walking a tightrope. Because yes, they want to win. Yes, they need the spark. But groin injuries? They're no joke. They linger. They come back. And if you rush it, you don't just lose the rest of the season. You risk compromising the next one, too. Still, you can feel the momentum shifting. Because Clark hasn't just been practicing. She's been killing it in scrimmages. Pull-up threes, threaded passes, filthy crossovers. That vintage CC vision and swagger, it's all coming back. And the rest of the league is sweating. Especially the teams in that bubble zone. The ones fighting for the last few playoff spots. Los Angeles, Golden State, Washington, they've been cruising in Clark's absence. But now, they see her name creeping back into game day reports, and they're suddenly wondering if those comfy wildcard slots are about to vanish. Because Caitlin Clark, back at 80%, is still better than most players at 100%. And once she starts cooking, game over. There's also a little thing nobody's really saying out loud, but you know it's real. The league needs her. They can't afford to have their biggest draw sitting for too long. Jerseys? Sold out. Ticket demand? Still sky high. National TV deals? Built around her. And let's be honest, this year's media narrative? It's been the Caitlin Clark show from the jump. Whether fans love her or hate her, or just show up to see what she'll do next, They show up. No other player is commanding this kind of attention. So when she's not playing, the entire league loses momentum. And you better believe the WNBA league office is watching every rehab update, like it's the stock market, because the second she returns, ticket sales spike, ratings climb, comment sections catch fire. But here's the twist. While fans and media are hyped for her return, a few players are not. Let's just say not everyone's been sending flowers during her recovery. You know the names. Some subtle, some not so subtle. Angel Reese, Aya Wilson, multiple W vets who've made it crystal clear they aren't rolling out the red carpet for Caitlin's comeback. They've critiqued the media bias, questioned her rookie hype, talked about earning respect. And now they're staring down the very real possibility that Clark's return could flip the standings. You know what that means? Receipts will be checked. If Clark comes back and drops 25-10-7 in her first week back, the internet will be unbearable, especially for critics. If Indiana suddenly surges into a playoff spot while knocking out a team that's been chirping from the sidelines, the drama writes itself. But it also raises a real question. Should she come back at all? Because as much as we want to see her in action, there's a very real debate to be had. She's still early in her career. The Fever are not a title contender right now. So is it worth it to risk long-term health for a short-term playoff run? Or should she sit, heal, and come back next season even stronger? Here's where things get complicated. Because if this were any other rookie, you'd sit them. But Caitlin Clark isn't just a rookie. She's a business. Her brand doesn't rest. Her presence is bigger than basketball. And she knows it. That competitive fire doesn't turn off just because there's a rehab plan. She's watching her team struggle. She's watching her name dominate headlines. And she's itching to silence every doubter who used her absence to shift the spotlight. So yeah, barring something catastrophic, she's coming back. Soon. And when she does, everything changes. The Fever become dangerous again. The playoff race becomes unpredictable. Every arena she steps into becomes a national spectacle, and every rival who rolled their eyes when she was down will have to guard her in real time. So get ready, because the comeback is coming. And when Caitlin Clark re-enters the arena, she's not just back on the floor. She's back in control. The league's most polarizing, watched, and debated figure is lacing up again. And whether you're cheering her on or praying she bricks every shot, you'll be watching. So, should she play? Or sit it out and protect her long game? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because this comeback, it might just flip the whole league on its head. Absolutely. Let's go deeper, because Caitlin Clark's return isn't just a comeback. It's a reckoning. And the league? It's about to feel the aftershocks. Picture it. The lights in Gamebridge Fieldhouse dim just slightly before the anthem. The camera pans. The crowd's buzzing, not with polite applause, but that kind of breath-holding, hair-on-the-back-of-your-neck electricity. And then she jogs out of the tunnel. CC, number 22, the Fever's heartbeat. It's the kind of moment that makes sports magic. And it doesn't just stir Indiana fans. It rattles every franchise in the league. Because even if you convince yourself the Fever were toast without her, you know. One Caitlin Clark step-back three. One no-look assist, one mid-game momentum flip, and suddenly your 6-point lead is dust. Your rotations are off, and you're wondering why your coach looks pale. That's what Clark brings. Disruption. And she's about to bring a lot of it. Let's talk logistics. Right now, the Fever are clinging to life. They're somewhere between statistically possible and functionally delusional when it comes to the playoff race. Without Clark, they relied on patches. A few decent bench showings, glimmers of chemistry, grit, but it's been rough. There's no offensive identity, because Caitlin is the offensive identity. Without her, this team has looked like a car engine with no spark plugs. Boston's dominant, sure, but without Clark feeding her on the roll, she's forced to muscle through double teams. The spacing is gone, the floor shrinks, and everyone feels it. So you bring Clark back into the mix? Suddenly Mitchell gets cleaner looks. The corners open up. Boston can roll freely. The offense flows. This isn't theoretical. We've seen it. Even at 60%, Clark changes the geometry of the court. Now think about her returning with revenge in her veins. This injury didn't just sideline her physically. It sidelined narrative. For the first time in months, people stopped talking about her. Other storylines crept in. Rivalries shifted. Headlines filled with other names. And you already know that's been eating at her. Because Caitlin Clark, she doesn't vanish. She reclaims. So what do you think happens when she gets her chance again? She's not coming back to ease into the flow. She's coming back to remind you why she had the highest selling jersey before she ever played a pro game, why her name trends even when she's not playing, why every single broadcast includes a "When will Caitlin Clark return" segment. Because make no mistake, this comeback is personal. It's personal for her. It's personal for the Fever. And yeah, it's very personal for the WNBA. Because this entire season, it was built around her. From ticket pricing to broadcast deals, Clark was positioned as the league's rising tide. She was the storyline, the reason ESPN bumped coverage, the reason casuals started watching. So when she went down, the narrative panicked. Suddenly, we saw desperate pivots. Look at this other rookie. Angels carrying the culture. Let's highlight the vets again. But you felt the void. Because while talent is everywhere, Clark brings something rare. Main character energy. And now the main character is coming back in Act 3. And the plot just got spicy. Because guess what? Not everyone wants her to succeed. There are players, vocal ones, who like the fact that things got quieter without her. Who have used the opportunity to question her toughness, her credentials, her worthiness. So what happens when she walks back in and drops 27-9-6 on a playoff-hungry team that's been talking slick since June? Oh, it's coming. And when it does, the receipts will fly. We're going to see tension, passive-aggressive interviews, maybe a few welcome back, hard fouls, some eye rolls. But also, we're going to see the truth about her game, about her leadership, about how one player can reshape an entire sports media ecosystem. Let's zoom out. Her comeback isn't just about Indiana or the scoreboard. It's about the business of women's basketball. The WNBA is watching closely. So is Nike. So is every sponsor who's slapped her face on their product. And they're all thinking the same thing. Can she still carry the hype? And the answer? Yeah. But this time, it's different. Because now, she's been humbled. She's been benched. She's watched from the sidelines as other players try to snatch the spotlight. She's listened to critics call her overhyped. She's read the think pieces. And now she's got ammo. This next version of Caitlin Clark, more mature, more focused, still deadly, but more dangerous. Because now, she knows what it feels like to be muted, to have the spotlight dimmed, to be sidelined from the narrative she built. And when you give a player like that another shot, they don't just come back. They explode. So here's what we're predicting. Her first game back? Absolute media circus. Mic'd up. National broadcast. Fans holding "We missed you" signs. Her stat line? It won't be perfect, but it will be loud. At least one no-look dime that makes SportsCenter. At least 1 3 from the parking lot. Her energy? Locked in. Less chirping, more domination. The smiling assassin version. Cold. Clinical. Respected. Her impact? Playoff picture? Scrambled. Power rankings? Shifted. League morale? Shaken. Because whether you love her or hate her, you know she's inevitable. And when that kind of inevitability gets healthy again, you don't just brace for a comeback. You brace for a storm. So, yeah, get your popcorn. Because Caitlin Clark's about to remind everyone that this league runs through her now. And if you weren't ready for the first time, you better get ready now. Because Caitlin Clark's comeback, yeah, it's about redemption, it's about power, it's about basketball. But if we're being really honest, it's about ownership. Not just of her game, not just of the court, but of her story. Because for the past few months, everyone else has been writing it for her. The critics said she was overrated. The veterans said she hadn't earned it. The pundits said she was too fragile, too polarizing, too protected. And yet, here she comes again. Strapped up, laced down, locked in. Not with the blinding rookie hype that followed her into the league, but with a new kind of fire. The kind that only comes from being quieted, from watching your team falter, from having to sit and listen while people decide who they think you are. You think she's not coming back with something to prove? Because what people forget is this. Caitlin Clark lives in the pressure. She was built in it, sculpted by it. Her entire career has been one giant, spotlight-soaked proving ground. Iowa, every arena was packed for her. The Final Four, all eyes on her. WNBA draft, biggest moment in years, centered on her. She didn't ask for crown, but she sure as hell didn't drop it either. And now, after weeks of sitting courtside in tailored sweats and game-ready braids, she's about to re-enter the arena not just as a rookie, but as a symbol. Because like it or not, Caitlin Clark represents the future of this league. And that's what makes her return so dangerous. It's not just the threes. It's not just the assists. It's not even the wins. It's the momentum. And that momentum, it terrifies people. Because deep down, everyone, players, fans, execs, they know what's about to happen. She's going to come back. Turn the Fever into a functioning offense again, and probably steal a few playoff wins from teams that were banking on her staying sidelined. She's going to fill arenas again, drown out every other storyline, and make the WNBA trend every time she touches the ball. She's going to remind the world that, yes, she was worth the hype, that it wasn't just marketing, that it wasn't just a lucky run, that it was always real. And that is what makes this comeback bigger than basketball. Because what happens when the face of the league gets knocked down and then stands right back up? She doesn't just reclaim the spotlight. She owns it. Look at the timing. Her return isn't coming in some quiet stretch of the season. It's coming right before the playoff push. When teams are desperate. When standings are fragile. When every game feels like March Madness. Which means she's walking into maximum chaos. And you know what Caitlin Clark does in chaos? She thrives. This is a player who used to drop logo threes with two defenders in her face, who baited trash talkers into silence, who would literally wink after hitting a dagger. She doesn't just absorb pressure. She converts it into daggers and heat checks. And now she's coming back with her team on the ropes, the league nervous, and her doubters louder than ever. Yeah, she's cooking something. Don't be surprised when her comeback game feels like a playoff match. Don't be surprised when every media outlet has a countdown clock. Don't be surprised when the first three she hits sends the internet into orbit, because this is more than a medical clearance. This is a statement that you can't erase her, that you can't write her off, that you can't shift the narrative just because she had a setback. And you better believe she knows exactly who is talking. All those subtle digs, the overhyped rookie jabs, the veteran shade, the smirks after the Fever lost without her. She's got every single one of those moments stored. And when she steps back onto that court, she's going to let her game do the talking. This isn't about revenge. This is about reassertion. It's Caitlin saying, I'm still her. You didn't bury me. You just gave me time to reload. And oh, did she reload? Let's be honest. The time off might have been the best thing that could have happened long term. She got to watch. She got to study. She got to breathe. No cameras in her face 24/7. No double-header travel days. No elbows from 30-year-old veterans trying to welcome her to the league. She had time to sharpen. So now, the handles are tighter. The reads are faster. The shot release, even quicker. She's going to come back not as the same player who limped off in July, but as someone who knows how to move differently, more strategic, less reckless, still electric. So what happens when she re-enters the playoff race with fresh legs, a clearer mind, and a point to prove? A storm, a full-on media blitz, a narrative takeover, a ripple effect that could shake the standings, the ratings, and maybe even the trophy race. And the best part? Everyone will pretend they saw it coming. But let's be real, they didn't. They thought the injury was a wrap. They thought the league would shift. They thought maybe the Clark era was over before it started. But now, They're realizing something terrifying. It's just beginning. So, the comeback's coming. And when it does, it's not just Indiana that needs to brace itself. It's every single team who thought the Fever would stay quiet. It's every single player who used her absence to claim the spotlight. It's every single critic who underestimated what she meant to this league. Because she's coming back with the ball in her hands, a chip on her shoulder, and the receipts in her pocket. And this time, she's not just going to win games. She's going to shut people up. So are you ready? Because the most watched player in women's basketball is back on the clock.